Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again. Thanks for being here. First video of 2019. Been on holidays, so I am glad to be back. Today is a review of the Tikka T1X MTR, the multitasking rifle in 22 long rifle in a 16-inch barrel. Let's get into it. So I want to do a bit of a review of the Tikka T1X MTR. Now I'm going to go through a few things that I like about it and a few things that I don't like about it. I did make a video, which I will link in the description, I made with Shooting Stuff Australia discussing the Tikka T1X MTR. Now that was before I actually owned it. Now I'm sort of following up on that mini review now that I've actually shot it and actually do own one. At the time I made that video, I did actually own it, but I hadn't picked it up from my gun dealer at that particular time. So let's go into it. Let's have a chat about it. Let's find out about the Tikka T1X MTR. Right, let's talk about some of the pros of the rifle first. Some of the pros: magazine. I think it's really good. It is different design than your typical CZ, etc. Easy to get in. The tension of the detent spring on the magazine is easy to feed in rounds, especially when you get to the 10th round. Easy to do, no problems whatsoever. The stock, I mean, it's so-so for a Tikka. I actually do like them. I probably will upgrade the stock in the future. It's just your typical plastic stock like we all know and trust from Tikka. Okay, third thing I like about this particular rifle is the barrel profile. Now this isn't a varmint barrel, but it's not a sporter barrel. It's something in between. Now I shot the other night at the range, about 100 rounds through it. Did start to warm up slightly, but nothing even remotely hot. I could hold my hand on it, no problems whatsoever. And the 16-inch barrel was my preference because it's going to be easy to walk around with and easy to go hunting with, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's definitely something I did like about it. It doesn't have any extra weight. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels absolutely fantastic. Now, some modifications I did to the rifle. So let's talk about, and this will form part of the cons as well. I did take out the trigger spring and I did put a 1.5 pound trigger spring in it. Now it shoots absolutely beautifully. It's nice and crisp. Maybe not something you want to do if you're going to go out in the field. Maybe just tighten up that spring just a little bit. Saves you accidentally hitting it and having it going off when you're out in the field and making it as safe as you possibly can. Now the biggest killer here, the biggest absolutely issue that I had with the rifle, now whilst people may not think this is a big issue, I just think they cheaped out on it. Now, is the thread cap. Now, some people know about the thread cap. They actually shipped them with a plastic end cap. Whilst the end cap, the plastic one, is heavy duty, I don't know why for about 50 cents to $1 in mass production, they couldn't give you a metal end cap. I mean, you are paying a premium price for this 22, especially over other brands like the Ruger Precision and the CZ455, but we'll get into the value discussion a little bit later. So what I did do is I went on High Velocity Hunting Australia, seems like a nice bloke, quickly ordered the alloy end cap for the thread capping of this particular firearm and totally chucked out the plastic one in absolute disgust. I love Tikka, all my firearms are Tikka, but why on earth would you ship the rifle with a plastic end cap? I don't think I've seen that before. Perhaps there are other ones with plastic end caps, but you know, Tikka, for the price you're paying, I think it deserved to have a metal end cap. That's just my opinion. Sure, for $40 you can upgrade it, but again, that's $40 onto the price of the firearm. You're really sending that price up. Okay, second thing I don't like about it, which is not really a big deal, under the barrel where it meets the receiver, there's this like a little plastic block underneath the barrel. Now, from what I've been hearing from people in the industry is that this is to guarantee the 1 MOA accuracy guarantee. My only issue with that is the reason this is a modular system is you can add this to any aftermarket T3X stock, however you want to do it. You can put it in a T3X MDT chassis, Bell & Carlson, Hogue, Macmillan, whatever you want to do. You can just drop this T1X into a T3X configuration of another different stock brand, which is absolutely fantastic. But the only issue that I've got with that is the block stays within this plastic stock. So if you move it to a Macmillan, a Hogue, whatever the brands are, particular brands out there, Bell & Carlson, whatever it may be, or a chassis type system, that block obviously doesn't go with it. And I do have a couple of old plastic black synthetic centerfire stocks from some of my old Tikka firearms that are about a couple of years old. And if I move this straight over to the centerfire T3X stock, the block doesn't go with it, so I don't really understand the point of it. I mean, I guess if you want to force it to be as snug as possible and as stiff as possible to get the 1 MOA guarantee, then I guess I can understand. But it makes no sense that if I move this into the centerfire Tikka T3X synthetic stock, the block doesn't come with it. That is a bit of a con to me. I've never seen that before in other situations. Maybe the Seiko Quad has it, I don't know. Again, just a bit weird to me. But anyway, let's move on. Second thing I don't like about it, but I know the Seiko Quad has it, is this little, and I'll get a picture of it here for you guys, is this little ejector pin, you might call it, I guess, extractor pin. Now, it's very flimsy to me, very flimsy. Now, I hear the Seiko Quad has it, and it's working fine, so this may work for the next 30 years, and I might just be talking shit. But I can see that end part, something getting caught on that, whether it's a bit of patch, whether it's a bit of cloth, whether it's a cleaning rod, whether it's a cleaning jag or a cleaning brush, and if that gets hold of that, that will just rip off. It almost looks like they've put a bobby pin inside the action. They've put a bobby pin inside the action. I just don't like that. I think it does feel a bit flimsy. Whether that holds up in the future, time will tell. I don't perceive it to be a problem. Now, this might get, like I said, might go for 30 years and it's going to make me look like a complete idiot, but it just seems flimsy to me and I can see something getting caught on that. I hope it doesn't happen because I don't really want to be sending it in for repair and paying any extra money than I need to. So I paid I think about $870 for this firearm in different states. This gun can go up to about $960. So you are paying quite a premium for the Tikka T1X. And some people have asked me, they've said, Jason, is this better than the Ruger Precision? Is it better or price-wise than the CZ455 synthetic stainless? Now, like I said, in some places in Australia, in some states, you're going to be paying up to an extra $200 or $170, between $150 and $200 more than the CZ455, depending on what state you're in. And that could be as low as, $80, $50. It all depends what price you're getting the Tikka T1X for. But I paid about $860, so automatically I think it was about $80 more expensive than the CZ455 at the time I purchased the T1X. Now, is $80 better off? Well, if I add the $40 end cap, that brings it to about $120. And if I bring the trigger spring, which doesn't really need to be done, that's another $15, bringing it to about $135. But they are aftermarket Clusions. It's not going to make the rifle shoot any better or any worse with the end cap. That's just what I wanted to do. But I see this and the trigger spring to be a bit of a necessity for my particular situation. So I did have to spend more money on this rifle to get it up to the standard that I want. And I probably will update the stock in the future. I'm not going to add that price because that would be silly to add that price onto the end price of this actual firearm. So is the Tikka T1X, this Tikka T1X, better value than, say, the Ruger Precision 22 or the CZ455 stainless? Now, as much as I love Tikka, every single firearm in that safe sitting over there is Tikka. I'm going to say no, I don't think it is better value. Now, would I still buy it personally over the CZ? Well, I already own a CZ, so would I buy it over the CZ455 synthetic stainless? For me, it's only a couple of $100 more, or so $150 more, so I probably would. But if I didn't have the CZ455 tactical, would I purchase it? That's a very hard question to answer, and I'm not sure. That's going to depend on your particular budget. Now, a lot of people out there can't afford that extra $150. They want to spend that extra $150 on it and adding that to the price of their scope and adding it to a bit better glass, and I would probably understand that as well. So I'm going to say no, I don't think it's better value than the Ruger Precision. Is it better value than the CZ455 stainless? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It's still a good rifle. There's some issues that I had to fix with it, like I said, the end cap, the trigger spring, but that's not really fixing. That's just for my personal preference. So all around, I think it's a great gun. I really do. I think it's going to shoot great. I've had some good results with different ammo, which we're going to go through in just a few moments and have a bit of a look. But again, like I said, the CZ455, you are getting it in stainless. Hopefully, Tikka T1X, they will bring out a stainless model. That would be absolutely fantastic. And you never know, I might buy one of them in the future. But where it does shine, and I think it does pick up, is for me, the 16-inch barrel is fantastic, nice and short. Can absolutely just lift it up. It's so light. It's like literally, guys. It's almost like picking up a toy. I can literally just throw it. Hopefully, I don't drop it. So that is one big feature why I bought it and why I didn't buy the CZ455 stainless, because I've already got the tactical in 20-inch, and this was 16. And at the time in the country, there was no CZ455 synthetic blued in the 16.5-inch barrel in the country. So I obviously couldn't buy that, but I probably would have if I had the opportunity. But the Tikka T1X is great. Happy with it. If you can't afford the T1X, CZ455 or the Ruger Precision Rifle in 22 would be absolutely fantastic additions to your safe. So what we're going to do, I'm going to jump up, relocate the camera, and we're going to go through some of the groupings. Before we go through the groupings though, I did notice I got really good groups out of this one and the CZ455 with the Federal Hunter match in the, I think it's 40 grain, and they go about 1200 feet per second. But I did notice when I took both rifles back about a week later, they weren't grouping anywhere near what I wanted them to be. I used to shoot the CCI standards out of the CZ, but I just don't think they're only a target round and they don't give good results on rabbits, and that's ultimately what I want to shoot with these particular firearms. I went again about a week later, didn't clean the firearm, both of them, and they actually started to shoot worse, especially the CZ. Then I figured out I've had the CZ for probably about 2 years, and I've only bore snaked it because I didn't have the correct cleaning rod to be able to clean it. I've now changed that. I came home yesterday and gave them a hue. Both of them are good clean. So now I'm going to go back to the range in about a week's time, test them out, and I will do a follow-up video about the accuracy. But I was getting, with the Federal Hunter match, I was getting just under or on half an inch at 50 meters, which is basically under the 1 MOA guarantee at 100 meters. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to the camera, we're going to jump over to the targets and have a look at about how some of them did. Alright guys, let's have a look at some of the results on the Tikka T1X. Now, because I've got the CZ Tactical 455, I'm trying to get a round that I can actually buy bulk of that will satisfy the requirements of both rifles. Now, I always had pretty good results with the CCI standards. Now, so the first three at the top are the CCI standards. Now, the first group on the left-hand side was 0.88 of an inch. Second group just on half an inch at 0.499, and then another group at 0.686, which is not too bad. You know, this one is a little bit out, a little bit of a spattered pattern there. This one is a nice tight little mushroom pattern, and this actually at 686 isn't a bad group either. But what I am looking for is basically like a consistent half-inch group at 50 meters. Now, what really impressed me with this was the Federal Hunter match, just like I've had good results with the CZ455. Now, if we have a look at here, the first one, bottom left target, 0.517. Second group, really good at 0.432. And then a 1.024 inch group. Now, it would have been a fantastic group except for this flyer just up the top here, which is actually not that great. But if I subtract that probably out of it, that would probably be a 0.6, 0.6.5 or 0.6.5 inch group, which is absolutely fantastic. CCI standard is good and is consistent, but the Federal match is blowing it out of the water at the moment. Okay, going on from that, we had okay with these results with the Ely Subsonic. It was 0.792 of an inch, and the Ely Subs, this group bottom left, was 0.962. So not really that great, and I wouldn't be considering at this stage the Ely Subsonics. Now, when on to RWS. Okay, the RWS Subsonics, just over an inch group and 0.88 of an inch. So I probably wouldn't consider the RWS Subsonics as well. Winchester power points, again 1.053 and 8.63. Mind you guys, when I was actually doing this as well, this was with the stiff trigger. I have gone back and tested it with some other rounds as well, but I think cleaning is an issue, and I'm going to go reconfirm these targets and make a follow-up video in the future. We then went to the CCI Subsonic hollow points, 0.962, and I'm not even sure what that group is. Not bad. It's about 0.8.2 of an inch, 0.8 of an inch, which is actually not too bad, but not the accuracy that I desire. Okay, then went on to some Ely high velocity. So this one was actually not too bad, 0.445, but that's without the flyer. Next group is 0.766, bottom left. We then went on to, I tried Ely Subs again just to make sure. That was a pretty good group at 0.587. Ely Subs, bottom middle target at 0.864. Then I also went back to the, actually this was a new one, RWS high velocity was up 1.1 of an inch and 0.581. So I'm not sure the consistency there. That could be the scope. That could be anything. I will try some RWS high velocity again in a couple of weeks. All right, last target here, we went to CCI Velocitor, 0.956 and then a 0.667 group. Okay, but again, I'm not really sure. I may try some Velocitors again, but I'm not really looking for that really quick round. You know, anything about 1100 or 1050 to 1200 feet a second will be fine by me. CCI mini mags at 7.45 and 1.095, so just over an inch and just under 3/4 of an inch. Went to the CCI Stingers, 0.887 and .856. Was shooting obviously quite high because I think they're running, what a Stinger's running, about 1640 feet a second or somewhere around there. So not too bad at all, not too bad at all with the Tikka T1X. I am very happy with, if I can just find it just over here. All right, this is the one I actually am pretty happy with, guys, along the bottom here. This is the Federal Hunter Match on the T1X. As I said, just on 1/2 inch group and .432 of an inch. All 5 shots groups were shot. This one was a bit of an issue, but we did have that flyer. But I wanted to also say, when I started shooting this rifle, the first situation of doing these groupings was that I did have the heavy trigger. I didn't have the trigger spring in, and I really hadn't cleaned the rifle from factory, which is probably what I should have done, which is obviously pretty stupid. But after a couple of rounds, it seemed to have settled down, and the Federal Hunter Match actually does seem really, really good. So that's something hopefully I can replicate again in a couple of weeks now that I've cleaned this firearm and the CZ455. Now, just finishing off, I did want to bring out the CZ455. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups with the Federal Hunter Match. Now, this is what was really fantastic and surprising to me. First group, .478. Second group, .482. Third group, .513. .482 again, and a .432. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the problem being is that I haven't cleaned my CZ for about 1.5 years. I have run a bore snake through it, but I don't think that's appropriate. And I did notice a huge accuracy drop-off. I probably shot about 500 rounds down on the Riverina, which you saw my previous video. I didn't use the 22 in the video. I was using the 243, but I shot about 500 there. Shot about 300 before I went, testing out which loads were going to be the best, and it turned out to be the CCI standard, which is what I was shooting with. And then I also came back and shot probably another 300 rounds just testing the Federal Hunter Match and a few different hollow points. So I probably had well over 1,000 rounds out of it without cleaning it, which is my bad. So I'm hoping I can replicate, now that I've given the gun a really good clean, the CZ455, I'm hoping I can replicate these groups with the Federal Hunter Match in the next week or so. So I will follow up on that with you guys as well. So guys, I hope you like the review of the Tikka T1X. Like I said, it seems to be the Federal Hunter Match. Hopefully with the lighter trigger now, I can replicate these groups with the Tikka T1X. It's a good firearm. I think, if you've got the money and you do want to spend that little bit extra for, the Tikka brand name, are you going to get any better accuracy than the CZ? Probably not. The Ruger Precision, like I said, again, probably not. But if you want one, go buy one, guys. You won't go wrong. Tikka T1X, 22 long rifle, 16-inch barrel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Gives you a little bit of idea. I might follow up in the future with some more load testing with some different 22 ammunition. But for the time being, guys, the video's been long enough as it is. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.